Rarichan Enna Pauran, a citizen called Rarichan. The film's narrative commences with a vignette of young Rarichan and his father Choji, laboring at an oil press. As the sun dips below the horizon, they return home, and gather the dried coconuts. Choji's friend, Kunju Nair, a mahout to the elephant Kutashekaran, visits his hut. Kunju's employer, who is also Choji's landlord, owns the elephant. Choji's wife, Narayani, is also present. The conversation concludes with Kunju's request for oil. As he turns to leave, he drops a bombshell. He overheard the landlord's plans to evict Choji for non-payment of rent and construct a new house on the very land they call home. The news sends shockwaves through Choji. The following day, a storm descends upon Choji's humble abode in the form of the landlord and his ruthless manager, Shenkuni Nair. The demand for overdue rent hangs heavy in the air, a debt Choji cannot repay. The landlord's cold, unyielding order to vacate the land, a place that has been their family's home for generations, is compounded by the suffering of their sick child. Despite their pleas, the landlord remains unmoved, leaving them with a stark ultimatum. Another day, Choji meets Kunju on his way. He tells Kunju that he sold both his oxes. All the money is spent on his kid's treatment. Kunju is also worried that the elephant is having a swelling under its tusk. Kunju considers the animal like his son. Upon returning home, Choji finds his son Kutiraman eagerly awaiting a treat. However, the money spent on his sick child leaves Choji empty-handed. Narayani then informs him that the landlord wishes to see him. Choji refuses to meet the landlord, declaring that the landlord can do as he pleases. The landlord's daughter, impatient and demanding, seeks an update on Choji's eviction. The landlord, fueled by a relentless desire for possession, issues a direct order to Shenkuni: evict Choji, no matter the cost. Shenkuni hesitates, citing legal constraints. The landlord, however, remains unmoved, issuing a chilling ultimatum: failure to comply will result in immediate termination. Shenkuni, a shadow of malevolence, seeks out Kunju. His words, a venomous serpent slithering from his lips, fill Kunju with horror and disgust. Kunju, unable to fathom the depths of depravity, rejects the proposal outright. Shenkuni threatens to fire Kunju if he refuses to cooperate. Fearing for his livelihood and his bond with the elephant, Kunju reluctantly agrees. A sinister plot unfolds as Kunju, a puppet in Shenkuni's hands, descends upon Choji's humble abode. A web of lies, spun by the malevolent Shenkuni, ensnares Choji and his family. The fabricated tale of Narayani's ailing sister triggers a desperate race against time, a journey that leads them further away from their home and closer to their impending doom. In their absence, the hut is demolished using Kutashekaran. Consumed by guilt, Kunju informs the landlord of the completed task. A scene of utter desolation greets the family upon their return. The ruins of their beloved home, a testament to the cruelty of fate, reduce them to tears. As the initial shock subsides, a fiery determination ignites within Choji's heart, a thirst for vengeance that consumes his soul. Cloaked in the shadows of night, Choji embarks on a perilous mission. With stealth and cunning, he infiltrates the landlord's fortress, bypassing the vigilant guards. Narayani discovers Choji's absence and, moments later, he returns covered in blood. She lets out a cry of horror. Choji is arrested and sentenced to death by hanging by the court. His family is devastated by the verdict. Time marches on, and Narayani, now a deranged woman, is seen being harassed by children. Her sanity shattered by Choji's execution, she wanders aimlessly. The elephant's suffering continues to torment Kunju Nair, as the swelling grows more severe. A tragic scene unfolds as Narayani, a shell of her former self, is subjected to the cruelty of children. Meanwhile, Rarichan and his younger brother, their innocence tainted by poverty, resort to begging to survive. As darkness envelops the world, Rarichan, a young soul burdened with sorrow, prepares a meager meal. He calls out to his mother, but she remains unresponsive. A chilling realization dawns upon him, as he discovers her lifeless form. Fate intervenes as Rarichan and Kutiraman encounter a stranded bus, its engine silenced by the relentless heat. Rarichan steps forward, offering his assistance. The conductor offers Rarichan a free ride and promises to pay him. Rarichan entrusts Kutiraman to wait for his return, as he embarks on a journey. The bus chugs into a sleepy town. Rarichan finds work as a porter. As he navigates the narrow lanes, he encounters a curious juxtaposition of life and death. Skaria's coffin shop, Seethali's tobacco and cigar shop, and Beathu's tea shop. A wave of dread washes over Rarichan as he returns to find Kudiraman missing. A desperate search ensues, but the boy remains elusive, lost in the labyrinth of life. Beathu's daughter Kadiaya is singing and dancing. She was interrupted by her mother's call to help with cooking. Her father had passed away years ago. The orphaned Rarichan arrives at Beathu's tea shop. Rarichan asks for food, claiming he has no money. Beathu scolds him but provides food. Skaria, the coffin maker, visits Beathu's tea shop. As Skaria leaves, he exchanges playful banter with Rarichan, who jokes about starting a business selling the soil to put on top of the coffins. Then Skaria says you do whatever you want except stealing. Varani steps into the realm of Skaria's life, a harbinger of hope. As they converse, the shadow of Anima's uncertain future looms large. But Varani offers a glimmer of hope, promising to illuminate her path. Anima's heart aches as she witnesses her father's despair, a silent testament to the harsh realities of life. Rarichan encounters Shankuni Nair and teases him with his friends. A lone figure, Rarichan, sits enveloped in darkness, his tears a testament to his misfortune. Beathu, moved by his sorrow, extends a hand of compassion, drawing him into the warmth of her home. A mother's touch, gentle and soothing, eases his pain. Beathu leads Rarichan into the sanctuary of her home. She anoints his head with oil. Seethali's son Muhammad Ali is in love with Khadija. One Seethali discusses with Muhammad Ali about his marriage. A clash of wills ensues as Muhammad Ali declares his love for Khadija. Seethali, a man of tradition, is appalled by his son's choice, dismissing Khadija as socially inferior, as Ahe is the daughter of a mere tea shop owner. Muhammad Ali replies, "What is the problem in a tobacco merchant's son marrying a tea shop owner's daughter?" A tempestuous soul, Muhammad Ali, seeks solace in Skaria's shop. A chance encounter with Anima, a young woman whose heart echoes his own, sparks a silent connection. Unbeknownst to him, her love for him burns brightly, a hidden flame waiting to ignite. Skaria enters the shop and talks to Muhammad Ali. Their conversation is abruptly interrupted by the arrival of a customer. Rarichan notices Muhammad Ali gazing at Khadija and teases him about it. A marriage broker, Kader, proposes a marriage to Khadija with a wealthy but much older man, Hydros. He has married 5 times and divorced 4 times. He is uninterested even in his current wife also. Kader, displeased by Rarichan's presence, asks Beathu to keep street children out of her house. Tears stream down Khadija's face as the weight of her impending fate crushes her spirit. Beathu offers solace, assuring her that she has the power to choose her own destiny. Rarichan dreams of a brighter future, a future illuminated by the hope of owning an oil press. His aspirations are shared with his friend Shankaran. They happen to see a familiar face. It was Kunju Nair. Kunju Nair reveals that the elephant has died and expresses his grief. A humiliated Kader returns to Beathu's house, his pride wounded by the mischievous antics of Rarichan and his friends. Enraged by the rejection of Hydros's proposal, he resorts to a desperate tactic, slandering Khadija's character. Beathu, a woman of integrity, is infuriated by Kader's baseless accusations and drives Kader away. A silent battle unfolds as Anima attempts to capture Muhammad Ali's heart. However, Rarichan, a vigilant observer, intervenes, playfully reminding her of Muhammad Ali's affection for Khadija. Varani presents an unconventional suitor for Anima's hand in Anima, her heart heavy with reluctance, agrees to the union. Later, Skaria witnesses her tears and demands an explanation. Anima doesn't say a word, but Skaria can tell she's not happy. He tells her she doesn't have to marry the guy if she doesn't want to. But the real problem is that Anima is in love with Muhammad Ali. Kader confronts Seethali, his voice laced with suspicion, regarding the alleged affair between Muhammad Ali and Khadija. He casts aspersions on Khadija's morality, painting her as a woman of questionable character. Muhammad Ali walks in and hears what Kader is saying. He asks Kader what proof he has and tells him to stop spreading lies about good people. After Kader's departure, Muhammad Ali declares his unwavering intention to marry Khadija. Seethali, adamantly opposed to the union, forbids the match. In response, Muhammad Ali announces his decision to leave the family home. Seethali, though reluctant, ultimately yields to Muhammad Ali's unwavering determination. However, he imposes a stringent condition: a lavish wedding ceremony and a substantial dowry of 300 rupees worth gold from Khadija. Anima, noticing Beathu's distress, inquires about the cause. Beathu confides in her about the financial constraints hindering Khadija's wedding and dowry. Moved by compassion, Anima willingly sacrifices her gold chain to ensure Khadija's happiness. Beathu, gathering her remaining ornaments, visits a jeweler's shop, only to be disheartened by the low valuation of her possessions, amounting to a mere 40 rupees. Desperate and alone, she turns to her community for aid, but their indifference echoes the harshness of her fate. Rarichan, upon witnessing Beathu's distress, learns of the family's predicament. Beathu, overwhelmed by the insurmountable task of procuring the required dowry, contemplates canceling the wedding. Meanwhile, Rarichan encounters a heartbroken Khadija. Determined to assist, he grapples with the challenge of fulfilling their desperate need. As he wanders the streets, his gaze falls upon the glittering gold ornaments within a jewelry shop. Exhausted, Rarichan seeks respite beneath a lamppost, drifting into slumber. In his dreams, he envisions himself clutching the coveted gold, and getting arrested, only to be jolted awake. A tempest of confusion swirls within Rarichan's mind as he wanders aimlessly. Fate, in the form of Shankuni, presents itself, laden with a tempting prize. A surge of desperation propels Rarichan to commit a reckless act, stealing the ill-gotten gains. He rushes to Beathu. As he presents the stolen wealth, a shadow of doubt creeps into Beathu's eyes. She scrutinizes Rarichan's sudden windfall. Her voice, tinged with apprehension, demands an explanation for the money, her intuition warning her of a dark secret lurking beneath the surface. Rarichan explains that the money belonged to his mother, who had buried it before getting mentally unstable. She saved the money to buy an oil press. Beathu doesn't believe Rarichan's story. She thinks he stole the money and wants to give it back. She says she won't take money that was stolen and throws it on the floor. Overwhelmed by Beathu's disbelief, Rarichan breaks down in tears, vowing to disappear forever. In a fit of despair, he attempts to destroy the money, but Khadija intervenes, preventing him from committing such an act. "No one believes me," Rarichan wailed, his voice filled with despair. "I'll end my life." Beathu, persistent in her inquiry, pressed him for the truth. Assuring her of his honesty, he again tells that it is his mother's hidden wealth, finally convincing her. The bells of matrimony chimed, heralding the union of Khadija and Muhammad Ali. As the night deepened, Rarichan sought solace in front of the tea shop. His tranquility was shattered by the sudden intrusion of the law, as the police apprehended his friend Shankaran, arresting him for the crime Rarichan committed. Shankaran's anguished cries pierced the night, a desperate plea for justice that echoed in Rarichan's heart, forcing him to retreat into the shadows. The scene unfolded before Rarichan's eyes, a haunting tableau of injustice. Shankaran's cries of innocence, a mournful dirge, pierced the night, awakening a dormant conscience. The echoes of Skaria and Beathu's wise counsel reverberated within him, a stark contrast to his own impulsive act. Overwhelmed by guilt and remorse, Rarichan was consumed by a deep sense of despair. A surge of courage propelled Rarichan forward, his feet pounding the pavement as he raced after the departing policemen. With a heart heavy with guilt, he stormed into the police station, his confession a desperate plea for redemption. Muhammad Ali and Skaria sought legal counsel to understand the implications of Rarichan's actions. The lawyer informed them that Rarichan had confessed to the theft but claimed to have discarded the stolen money, sparing Beathu and her family from further humiliation. The courtroom, a stage of justice, witnessed the lawyer's valiant struggle to shield Rarichan from the impending doom. Yet, the weight of irrefutable evidence threatened to crush any hope of clemency. The gavel fell, sentencing Rarichan to a 2.5-year confinement within the juvenile detention center. As the film draws to a close, a haunting image emerges of Rarichan, disappearing behind the imposing gates of the institution.